Dollar Tree is an amazing trove of treasures or useful items for van dwellers who are on a very tight budget. There's actually like a whole bunch of really useful items in here. I thought I'd bring you guys along with me today to take a look at some of these items. In addition to everything being priced at $1, you can use you can get like common household items that you need, like soap, laundry type stuff, food for $1. But I think one of the most important parts for van dwellers is the automotive and household repair section. In this section, you've got, of course, USB cables and plugs, all for $1 versus like $4 or $5 elsewhere, and I think they work fine. So if you need plugs for your electronic devices, these are great. The other thing that I found here that I thought was really useful, or would be useful, are like these little LED lights. So you can get a light for like $1, and these little ones that can be clipped on. They even come with the batteries. I haven't tried one out, so maybe I'll do a review of one later, but I think they would be very useful. And then they've got these little push ones for only $1 here too. So already you can get some illumination in here for a very affordable price. Now on the hardware side, there's useful little tools and things that, are just handy to have, like little screwdrivers, little cutters, zip ties. And for me right now today, I actually am here to pick up some of this small little Velcro strips. Normally they sell this for like $3 or $4 at like Walmart and elsewhere, but here, I don't know how well these work, but I think they'll work just fine. It's just little tiny Velcro, attachment things. So you could put it on like small items and mount them somewhere so they don't fly around. But there's also the little hooks, also the little tools. And I'm sure if you come in here, any Dollar Tree, actually, you can look around and pretty much get whatever you need to build or repair or modify or enhance your vehicle for only $1. There's also like tape, electrical tape, which I don't need right now, sandpaper, things that are useful for building, small little tools. I don't know if they have Dollar Tree overseas. Probably not. You also got clamps here that could be used to clamp things in place. But zip ties to me are very important, and getting them for $1 is like an awesome deal. I think I got these I think these were the clamps that I used to mount my solar panels. And of course, you've got little gloves. Me personally, I'm in here shopping for several different items that I'm planning on using in future episodes. So I'm going to leave that as a surprise. This is just something I'm going to use. I don't think I'm going to do an episode on how Velcro works. I'm pretty sure people know how Velcro works. But I'm working on some projects that will feature Dollar Tree items. So look forward to those. But if you've never taken a look inside Dollar Tree to see, items that may be useful to you, it's definitely worth a stop. Cost is very cheap. And the key to it all is knowing that we're looking at items and possibly using them for not necessarily what they're listed as, but looking and seeing if they can be used for something else. Like here, you've got little metal bowls. These are very expensive in other stores. It's like $1 here. You're like, well, what's the significance? This is a dog bowl. Yeah, but a human could use it for eating. Or you could get this and use it as a small little sink if you wanted to. You can get 2 of them for $2. Whereas elsewhere it could cost you as much as like $10. So the key to making the most of everything, I think, here and at any store is to look at the items and ignore what it says it's used for. But looking at the shape and deciding how you could use it. And I think that's the biggest challenge is looking at things and saying, well, I know they say this is for this, but how could I use this? Like this is a auto bucket for putting things in, holding it in place. I guess it sits inside the cup holder in your vehicle. But if you think about it, you could probably challenge yourself to create something fascinating, which is what my current projects are. I'm looking at common items that you can find at Dollar Tree, Walmart, whatever, and seeing how they could be modded or changed or even just used for various things. Like these clamps are pretty handy. They could be used to put tarps into place. Could be used as extra pair of hands for construction type projects, which is what I'm probably going to get them for. But I think I already have some. The key is not to buy stuff you don't really need and to reuse stuff or take existing things, like parts that you have chopped up for another project and to reuse them. I think doing that helps to eliminate waste because you're not introducing new items. You're taking old items that have already been manufactured and reusing it, repurposing it. I hope you guys found this video useful. It's not a thorough tour of Dollar Tree here because it's just they got like different food items unless you want to see this. A lot of people complain that the food comes from China or has bad ingredients in it. So you may want to read the labels carefully. Let's look at their bread here. This is like wheat bread. And see what it says on it. It's made by this company in Georgia. Rich wheat flour. Doesn't say anything about anything bad on it. So just double check all your labels if you're concerned, as to whether or not it has bad ingredients in it or where it's manufactured. But even items in traditional grocery stores may have the same bad ingredients in it. I like coming here for things like this, the bags, the sealable zip bags. These are really useful for van dwelling because you can store like items in them and keep them from flying around. And you have a drawer, instead of opening a drawer and you got all these loose items, you can have like items stored inside bags so they don't fly everywhere. But basically, it is just like a regular store, but cheaper. Here's an electronic timer, which could be useful not just for cooking, but if you needed to time something. They also have kitchen things, containers, like Tupperware, household kitchen supplies, everything you can pretty much think of, even silverware, all for $1. So, just a tip for those of you who have never bothered to consider looking at Dollar Tree when you're designing your van or equipping it and getting items. It is a worthwhile stop. They've got the spray bottles, and we know these are useful. You can put cleaners in them. You can also put water in it and spray it on yourself to cool down. And the items here tend to be small in size, so something like this could be carried inside a vehicle and used to clean. Quality of the items here, not the best, but what do you expect for $1? And if it goes bad or something, you can get a new one. I don't intend on keeping something like this for years and years and years. You use it for maybe a year or two, and then you can replace it, or maybe even 6 months and replace it. It's like $1. And of course, you've got air fresheners. They also have laundry supplies. I didn't intend to do a tour, but since I'm here, and some people may have never ever been in a Dollar Tree, they even have clothing. You can get socks and laundry things, flip-flops for $1. I don't think you can beat that. These may not be the best quality, but they're the same as the ones you buy at other stores. And my tip is, if you get a flip-flop, this part right here, the center, see that little tip thingy, tends to break through. What you want to do is get like a bottle, those flip tabs on the soda bottles or something, and open it up and slide it across to make this area wider, basically to protect it from pulling through. And then these flip-flops will last a lot longer. Even have t-shirts, so if you need some cheap t-shirts to wear, different colors, different sizes, Q-tips, snacks, of course, everybody's familiar with those, and health and beauty. But almost anything you can find in a regular size store like Walmart, Target, or whatever, you can find here, almost. Just not the expensive items. For organization, they even have these collapsible storage containers, these little bins, which would be really, really useful for organizing yourself. And the fact that they're small makes them even better. This is what these collapsible things look like when they expand it out. It's actually pretty decent size. You could potentially put these like underneath your bed, or build a custom cabinet out of wood or cardboard and then just set these in it to help organize things. Now, if you have a shelving type situation like that where you just have these sticking out, you probably want to put bungee cords or something, or a pole in front of the units to keep them from flying out, because almost anything you put in a vehicle, if you don't have it secured down, when you turn and stop and brake and things, it'll fly. You can see all sorts of goodies here. They have personal hygiene, hair care, things to decorate your vehicle, toys to play with, and some toys can actually be converted to useful items. There are also candles. I'm wondering if they have terracotta pots, because I want to do a little project to show you how you could make a little space heater using terracotta. Let me look around for that. Well, I asked one of the employees here if they had terracotta flower pots, and they actually do, but these may be a little bit too small. I want one that's like about maybe this size, or even this size. This may be a little bit too small, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be too small. It doesn't have enough mass. But the idea is to use one of these things to make a space heater that could be used inside a vehicle, or a small space like a tiny home or something. I think these are too small. And the reason size becomes kind of important is you want it to have some mass so it can hold heat. These would work, but they wouldn't last as long as having one that's like maybe this size, or a little bit smaller like this size. But I'd probably go with something like this size. These can't be used because they're plastic. Basically, the idea is you put a candle underneath, and you build this so it stands up, so it has air circulating and a hole up here for air to go through. And you burn the candle and you light it up, and it heats up the air and heats up the pot. And what that does is holds the heat so it can radiate throughout the night. The thing you don't want is you do want to make sure when you're doing like that kind of stuff, when you're burning something, that you have circulation, ventilation through your vehicle, so that CO2 doesn't build up. CO2 is a real danger for van dwellers. People have died, using space heaters or cooking in their vehicle because they didn't have adequate ventilation. CO2 is odorless, and you can't smell it. The effects of CO2 usually is that you start to fall sleepy, and then you fall asleep and you never wake back up. So just be warned, if you do use propane heaters burn, okay? So anything that creates heat from burning will release CO2. So just make sure if you're running anything like that, that you have adequate ventilation in your vehicle, so that the CO2 can disperse out and you're not breathing it and, falling asleep and basically dying. Well, I've gone on and rambled on and on, but I hope you got kind of a glance as to the type of items that are available at Dollar Tree, and a lot of it is actually very, very useful. I'm actually here to buy some stuff for the van, but mostly to pick up some items for some future episodes where I'm going to be doing some construction and building things that I think are pretty cool and pretty cheap, and that anybody can do, and might be something useful for even van dwellers and non-van dwellers. Until next time, everyone, take care. I hope you're staying safe, staying warm if you're up north. I want to let you all know I'm thinking of each and every one of you. Have a blessed day.